All right, great. I'm so glad you guys are all here. My name is Stephanie Beebe, and I'm really glad that you guys were able to join tonight. Tonight I'm going to talk a lot about relationships and building relationships online through Facebook. And I will ask you a couple questions. Please feel free to raise your hand. You can ask in the chat box, or to go ahead and just unmute your microphone and ask your question. Sounds like I have construction going on nearby, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But tonight is really truly about building relationships. If you're in network marketing or any kind of direct sales company, this is really, we have to be very innovative and go with the times. And right now, people are online. Whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever they're at, they're making their choices by the people that they see online. So we have to go that direction. But at the same time, we can also use a lot of old school tools to get us in front of people and help us to really get to know them and help them to get to know us. So I have a couple questions for you before we begin. The first one is, how would you guys like to never run out of people to talk to about your business? Anyone go ahead and raise your hand, right? Ever. I mean, literally ever. It's really unlimited when you start diving into Facebook, and we are going to focus on Facebook. This program will work for several other social media, but really truly it's built for Facebook. But if you really truly dive into this and just apply this information, you will never run out of people to talk to. But what we're going to do is help them to know you, like you, trust you, and respect you, so that when they have a need for your services, they know exactly who to contact. Does that sound good, everybody? Okay, great. All right. So what would your life look like if your core values were any of these below? Or since you're already in network marketing and direct sales, maybe you already have a lot of these, and you've known that, and you can really feel that about your life. I mean, a life with balance, healthy relationships, an abundance of purpose, life free of negativity, financial stress is gone. It's really, truly amazing what network marketing, direct sales can really do for people, as long as we do it correctly. And by doing it correctly means really truly building relationships, caring about people, giving them an opportunity to believe you, trust you, respect you. And of course, then they want to use your products and services and be able to receive whatever you're promising them. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is just helping you get to that stage where they automatically have that for you, and you can trust yourself. You can believe in your words, and you can get to the point where you can do it really fast. This program was developed by a gentleman named Jim Lupkin. A few of you may have even heard of him or already met him. He's been developing building relationships for over 22 years. In the last few years has taken it to online, because that's where our world is at. So this is a program that was developed by him that we're just going to continue to teach today. So raise your hand. How many of you have a Facebook account that you use for personal reasons, right? Everybody. There should definitely be everybody on that call. Okay, good. Now, how many of you are actually using Facebook to build your business? Whether it's through your wall or your posts or anything. All right, I'm going to start looking at that. Okay, great. No problem. Got it, Sarah. Okay, fantastic. So there are easy ways to do this, and there are bad ways to do this. And we find that there's a little mixture of everything when people start using Facebook to build their business. All right, so next slide. Whoops. Next slide. Now, if you're using your Facebook wall for personal reasons, do you believe it could work for business as well? Right? We all believe that, correct? Okay, good. So online social media and social networking service, it has completely affected our social life. Almost all of us are on Facebook several hours throughout the day. How many of you would like to be on Facebook for fewer hours out of the day? Be much more intentional about how you're using it. And ever since I have really put this into practice, my day goes by and I have so much more free time and I'm doing more. It's really pretty amazing. So we're going to teach you a few of these things today. So would you all agree that our existing building career is based on relationships, correct? That's really, truly everything. Everything that we do in network marketing and direct sales is based on relationships. My down button doesn't want to work. Now, I get the question a lot from different friends of why Facebook? And if any of you are asking that question, please go ahead and raise your hand or mark in the chat box. But that's a very common question of, well, I want to reach more of the millennials, and the majority of them are on Instagram. Well, I want to reach different people through LinkedIn. All right, all of that is perfectly fine. What you really need to look at is who is your target audience? And that's your question. That's not a question any of us can answer. That's your question. So when you do that, you look at your target audience, that's how you want to base your social media. And for many of us, we need a wide variety in age, income, services, everything that's offered out there to be interested in what our products and services are. So Facebook has a lot of that. Instagram might cater to certain people, and LinkedIn might be a certain situation. So I do believe it's very important to be visible in every arena, but pick one to become really good at and focus on that every single day and make that consistent. So for our purposes tonight, it's going to be Facebook. All right, so really quick, here's my story of how all of this came about. As you know, I'm in network marketing and in direct sales, and I actually have been for 22 years. However, I'm with another company right now over the last 5 years. Everything has been going really fantastic, and our team was growing. Everything was great. I was contacted by a gentleman, the Jim Lumpkin that I showed earlier, and he offered me an opportunity to check out his book. And he said I might have heard about it. He mentioned a mutual friend. It was just a very personal message. Although I do receive quite a few sales messages from different people, I knew it was a little bit of a sales message, and it was through private message, just so you know. However, there was something different about it that made me pay attention. Usually I will politely decline them and move on, but something stood out about his message. And now looking back, I realized some of it was his picture. His picture was a little different than most on his profile. Also his message and the way he connected with me. He stated we have a mutual friend. He stated a little bit about what he's offering, but he didn't ask me to buy. It had nothing to do with me purchasing from him. It was just, hey, you may have heard of my book. And he named his book and showed me a picture. He's like, I'm just reaching out to people in the Scottsdale area, wanted to say hello, and left it there. I responded, and that was pretty much it for about a week or two. And then in another week or two, he started to like and comment on my posts, and I noticed that because, again, his picture stands out, and I'm not really friends with him, so there was something about it that made me really pay attention. So I naturally started to like and comment on his posts as well. Now, when you look back at that, there were several things that happened. I got to know him. I started to have a like for him. And then in about a week or two, he asked me to go to his private Facebook group to learn more about what his book and his trainings were offering. It was free. I was intrigued, so I said yes. I went into the group and I started to look at all of the different stories of the different people who were receiving the services and doing well. So now I've started to get a trust for him. And then in about another week or so, he called me or asked if he could call. And then we did actually meet and have a cup of tea. And during that 45 minutes or so that we were together, I gained a respect. So within about 4 weeks of building a relationship together, everything he wanted to accomplish was accomplished. I know him, like him, trust him, and respect him. And I did walk away from that meeting buying the program. So I wanted to share that with you because that is exactly how this relationship building works. And when we really spend time with people and we really put forth effort to care for them, they reciprocate usually. They give it right back, meaning both of you are going to feel fantastic. You're going to have a like, a know, and a trust for each other. Now you just have to earn their respect. And we do that in different ways. So are you guys ready to go through some ways that we can earn that? All right, great. So this is the process. Pretty much just what we talked about, connection, connecting with people, how to actually converse with them in a way that they'll respond. And then, of course, the follow-up and groups. All right, that's exactly what he did with me. And that's what we're going to go through. So we're going to go through some live at Facebook. All right, I've got you guys all back on. Any questions so far? See you guys on my big screen. Okay, all right. Who is ready to learn some fun techniques? Raise your hand, go crazy, put it in the chat box. I want to hear from you guys as to if this is information you can really take away and start using right away. You will see a lot of messages come up. I always look at my personal wall as my advertising, and then the private messages. Oops, let me let her know. Yes, we are. The private messages are the sales. That is actually where the relationships are built. So you'll see my private messages pop up pretty regularly tonight because it happens all day long. All right, so first couple of things that I really want to talk about are the relationships. When I was discussing my story with you, did that resonate with anyone about a relationship that you have made at some point? And I know sometimes people are a little nervous about doing things online through Facebook or with people they don't know because they don't know them. But how many of you, if you know me, were we strangers at one point, right? Raise your hand if at one point we were strangers, and now if we were strangers, do you consider us friends? So most people, oh, raise your hand, please. Okay, thank you. Most of us start off as strangers at some point, and then you build that relationship. And when you have that like, no, trust, respect, that's when a relationship is built. So I just kind of want to help put people a little bit at ease as we are going to teach you how to reach out to people that you may not know, but we can also have you start reaching out to people just to totally rebuild relationships with them. Whatever direction you go, when you have that going back and forth, I call it a ping pong relationship, that's when the relationships begin, and now you're friends and no longer strangers. So we had an entire very large group of people, a couple of you on the call right now were a part of it, who went through everything in the program that we had done earlier. And we found different things. What we found is that a lot of people who really weren't comfortable using Facebook to share their lives or to build their business really kind of took a back seat and realized it's not so bad to share some personal things about yourself. It's also bad to reach out and just say hello to someone. And then we can teach you exactly what to say. And then people like myself, I was skipping a lot, and I was just trying to get through things as quick as I can so I could get to know that person. But what I needed to realize and step back was that they needed more information about me in order for them to decide if they wanted to know, like, trust, and respect me. So there's a couple of fundamental things I want to go through, and some of you may have heard some of these fundamentals before, but I really like to bring them out every time because they really are the building blocks. So they're really the fundamentals and the starting point of everything. One of the first thing is the picture, the profile picture. Our brains are geared towards looking to the left and looking at a picture versus text. And if we know and we recognize that picture, our brain automatically calms down and we want to read more or look more, spend more time with that person. But if we're not really familiar with that person, let's just go to newsfeed. And we'll just scroll through this. If we can't see the person, you have to look a little bit harder. And with what we're trying to accomplish, you can see there's a lot of profiles going on. What we're trying to accomplish is to help people get to know us fast, like us, trust us, respect us, so that they want to spend the time looking more at our posts and our message than deciding if they want to look. Does that make sense? Everybody go ahead and put in the chat box if that makes sense. So it's just really super important that you have a profile picture. It does not have to be a glamour shot or a business or anything like that. It's just a profile picture that people can see, people can recognize, and it's a pleasant. And it has to be just you, all right? Nobody else, and it needs to be close up. So it can be funky, it can be fun, whatever it is, but whatever it is, keep it. That is your picture, that's your brand. And you want to share your brand everywhere you go. All right, now the cover or the cover picture, whatever you want that to be, and you can change that all the time. So that's perfectly fine. All right, great. So that's some of our first basics. Now the next one is we do need to share information about ourselves. There are a lot of people, and raise your hand if you are going to accept or put a message out to someone to request their friendship. Do you research them a little bit beforehand? Do you look at their profile picture? Do you look at their bio? Do you look at a couple things on their posts? Okay, raise your hand or say yes or no in the chat box, and let us know if that's really common for you. Right? It is very, very important. Most people will make their decisions by looking at those different things. So we need to make sure we give that to people so that they feel comfortable. So you just fill that out. There's a lot of other reasons why we fill out as much information as possible, but what we're really trying to do is break down the wall and make people feel comfortable with us. Well, I shouldn't say make. We want to help people feel comfortable with us and who we are. So when they know more about you, maybe I'll find someone that worked in real estate, maybe someone that was with Party Light Candles contacted me. Immediately the wall goes down and they feel more comfortable because you have that common ground. The gentleman that reached out to me, Jim Lubkin, he named a mutual friend that we had. Immediately my wall went down. He stated that he wrote a book that a company I work for was selling. Immediately my wall went down because, well, if my company is selling his book, then he must be okay, right? So you want to give people different pieces of information that they feel so comfortable with. All right, makes sense, everybody? All right, fantastic. All right, now we're going to get to some fun because I've given you guys some of that information before. Tonight I want to focus on how do you reach out to people? What do we say? So does anyone raise your hand or state in the chat box if you ever get to a stumbling block on whether you're trying to rebuild a relationship, you're trying to say something to someone, or it's the first time you've ever spoken to them and you just don't really know what to say? Or is it that you're just not confident in what you're going to say, that maybe you just don't, right? So it's like, I don't know what to say, and then you end up just backing off and doing something else, and then you never reached out to that person. Okay, so I want to make this so easy and so simple that I hope all of you give it a try tonight and see how it feels. I'm just going to give you one little example. Let's see, I archived my stuff, so let's go into this. And this is another tip I'm going to teach you tonight. All right, so recently I am on a mission to just send out love notes. My whole job for probably the next month is going to be sending out love notes. Now I do several things in between. I basically have a love note that I send out, and then there's follow-up, another invitation, and then a follow-up. But the initial part is really truly just love. So it's as simple as this. Here's one to a friend of ours. Hello, love. I hope your day is great. I just wanted to check in and say hello. I am so glad we met and are friends, and wanted to thank you for all of your posts and sharing the world like you do. Thinking of you, Stephanie. Now, some of you may have received this message from me, and I did mean that to every single person that I sent that to. But what I'm really trying to do is make a really broad movement to send out as much love messages as I possibly can. And guess what happens when you send out a love message? What happens? Right? Thank you, Stephanie. I hope you were doing well. And then we maybe start a little conversation. In this case, it's just a little conversation. And that's perfectly fine. I have no intentions set up. I'm not trying to sell them anything. It's just strictly a love note. Now, we categorize it in two different ways. On if you know them and you have been in contact with them recently, less than 90 days, or do you need to rebuild a relationship with them if it's been more than 90 days since you have had some kind of conversation? And commenting back and forth on each other's posts is conversation. So you just kind of have to figure out, where do they sit and what kind of message do you want to send? If it's been less than 90 days, you want to be really personal, because you probably had a really personal conversation of some kind. So just follow up with that previous conversation. If you're rebuilding it, send a love note. Just, hey, I just wanted to say hi. I'm really glad we're friends. You really have made a difference in my life. There's truly so many different things you can do. All you really want to do is have them feel that you care and that you have a connection with them, and you hope that they're well. How does that work for you guys? Give me some comments. Give me some chat marks on that. Is that something that you feel comfortable with? Let's hear from a couple of you. I'll just show you a couple others. All right, great. Look in the chat. Okay, good. Exactly. It really is. Oh, that's wonderful, Carol. Excellent. Good. I'm so glad you guys are feeling that. Thank you, Diana. So here's another example. Okay, so be hush. So we haven't actually spoken in the last couple of days, but he was a part of something that happened on Friday. So I'm just going to recognize that. You know, how are you? I think you were a part of the canister gifts. I want to thank you so much for helping my mother-in-law. It's just a conversation. Really, truly, you're just reaching out and saying hello to people. And we can just go on and on and on about how to do that. Now, let me just give you another one. All right. Now, this one is happy birthday. So I'm going to skip to another little step, if that's okay with you guys. And happy birthdays are so important. Now, think about your birthday on Facebook. And think about when you have a birthday, and if you have a question, please go ahead and mark it in the chat or unmute. But when you have a birthday, how many of you get like anywhere from 100 to 200 or 300 happy birthdays on your wall? All right, it feels great. It feels wonderful to have it go ding, 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 ding all day long. You have these messages coming up. However, are they an opportunity for you to really build a relationship? Is that other person really building a relationship with you? Yeah, 470 or more. That's tough. Exactly, Sarah. It takes over a week to say thank you, right? And at that point, at 470, or even if it's 100, you're pretty much just copy, paste, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, right? It's not really a ping pong situation. They said happy birthday, you said thank you, you moved on. Now, but think about, oh, very good, Diana. I did a thank you video. That's fantastic. I like that. We'll have to add that. My birthday's coming up too, so I'll have to add that. So think about when you private message someone and you say happy birthday. Does anyone do this? I've taught this a few times now. Has anyone started to implement this? When you private message them, you're usually probably 1 out of 10 people that actually would send out a private message, right? So you stand out, and you can actually have a ping pong situation going on. So Jennifer was one. You know, it's not a whole lot, but she did it pretty much instantaneous. Well, that one was 4 hours. Usually we'll have people respond very quickly. I'm going to see who else had a birthday. You guys get the point. It happens a lot faster. And people feel that because it was a direct situation and they had time to respond. All right, good. So now I want to go back to just saying hello to people. Now the question is who do I say hello to? Does anyone have that question? Who do I actually say hello to? Where do I start? Well, you just have to start. And that's the biggest thing. So if you're a part of a group, Maybe you belong to a neighborhood group or a church group or a school group or some kind of special group, right? Or your network marketing group and you just want to say hello to someone. Or if you just want to start with your friends, you can actually print out all of your friends, whether it's in a group or all your friends, however you want it to be, but you can print out everybody's name if you want to print it out. I actually haven't been printing it out, but it does take a little bit of memory. And you can just go to every single person. And let's just say we'll just go to my friends for a second. Right? I can just go to my friends list. And I just go Annie Medina. And you want to go up here. There we go. And you want to hit message. We'll just send Annie a message right now just because. You have, I don't know how many people we have. Right? Okay, and I do, in this case, I'm not rebuilding a relationship. I talk to her pretty much daily, so I'm not going to add my name. But if I'm rebuilding a relationship or the happy birthday, I'm always going to sign it my name. If I don't know them well, if we're part of a group, but we really don't have a friendship, it's not a very intertwined friendship, I'm going to say Stephanie Beebe. And I'm going to list my entire name because I want to be as friendly as possible. I don't want them to guess who I am. I don't want them to guess how we know each other. I just want to let them feel comfortable is really the whole point of everything. And again, I don't want them to think anything other than, well, that was nice. That was really sweet. And maybe they may want to respond. Now, some people respond, some people don't respond. For business purposes, whenever I do this, we'll get off my friends. For business purposes, whenever I sit down and send out these messages, here's what I find. And again, there's no sales involved on my end. But what I do find is that my message will either have them respond back with thank you. And I've gotten many messages where, thank you so much, I really needed that today. I really appreciate you thinking of me. I wasn't feeling very loved today. I was having a bad day. Your message reached me at a great time. You know, those kind of things. So you know you're really making a difference to their lives because maybe they're at work and things aren't good and it's just work, 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 work. And then all of a sudden, all they get is a love note. Right? It gives you a moment to, I'm okay, right? Because we all get the head games at times. This just gives everyone a moment to be like, whew, I'm loved. I'm okay. All right, this is great. And that's your whole point. You just want them to feel love. Whether it's for 2 minutes, 20 seconds, or if you ping pong and go back for several minutes, whatever it is, the whole point is just help them to feel your love. Some will respond back with how we're related to each other. Some will respond with, oh, there we go, Carol, this is what happened today. Female friend having a bad day going through a divorce, and you just sent her a message, right? People need us, and that's our job. Just saying hello, just being there for people is so huge, huge. All right, so if you are in network marketing and direct sales and you have a product, sometimes that does give them the reminder that they want to order. So whether that's your ultimate goal or not, sometimes that just happens. But what happens is people will respond to you when they have a need for your services. So if you're connecting with them and it's at the moment that they have a need for your services, that's like perfect world situation, right? It's like this perfect situation of, I was just about ready to contact you, or I've just been looking products up, or I was just telling myself I need to do something. Whatever it is, and you know, you can name this several different things. It could be God's intervention, it could be the universe, but whatever it is, your post or your message to them may have been exactly what they needed to do something. Now, some may not respond at all, and that's perfectly fine too. So when you go through this process, I do want you to know that it really truly is a no rejection process, as long as you allow it to be. So I'm just going to tell you right here and now, If they don't respond to you, don't let it bother you. How many of you have ever been in a situation where you received a message from someone and you're like, oh, yeah, I need to respond to her, but you were taken off at that moment to go do something else or to handle something else, right? Go ahead and type in yes if you've ever been in that situation, right? We really meant to respond, but something else came up and we didn't get that opportunity, right? So who knows what happened to them, right? We cannot think twice about it because you'll kill yourself if you think about that, and we just don't know. So even if they don't respond, all you know is that you sent them love. And how does that make you feel? Go ahead and type
Beautiful.
something in the chat box. If you were to just send love to someone, whether they sent any information back to you, would you feel great? We'll have you do that. I'm gonna mute Lisa. There we go. All right, good. So there's a lot to be said for just sending it out and not expecting anything in return. If you do get something in return, that's a true blessing. And if you pray and you have that sort of relationship, I always pray a prayer before I start. And I do also read a affirmation. I read an affirmation and then I pray. And I always pray that my messages will be sent to the person who needs me. They will be received with love, and they will give me an opportunity to help maybe open the doors. So lead me in whatever direction I need to be led. And whatever happens is whatever happens. And that's just how I look at it. All right, any questions about that before I tell you how to organize all of this? Because organization is a big key in this whole situation. Does anyone have any questions? Go ahead and unmute or text or in the chat box. Okay, does everyone see how that's actually pretty simple and easy to do? I think you guys already answered that question, but I just want to make sure. Okay, good. So if you were to sit down either tonight or tomorrow, would you be able to whip out a love note and send that to 10, 20, 30 people? Okay, good. Now the organization part. So this is really, really exciting. I love this more than anything because my life has absolutely changed by staying organized on this. And my method may or may not work for you. I'm going to teach you one way, and then I'm kind of working on a different way to see how well it works. But so basically what I do, if I'm going through a huge campaign of sending out love notes, I try to send out 30 a day. And there's a reason for that. Facebook only allows you to friend request new people, only allows you to do 30 a day, 10 every 4 hours. If you do more than that, they will put you in Facebook jail and you'll be off the computer, off Facebook for at least 24 hours. So for new people that you're reaching out to, that's all that they will allow you to do. However, if you're not really proficient with sending out a ton of messages yet, you'll cause red flags even though you're sending them to people you know. So I just stick with 30 and I just go bam, 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 and I send out all of my messages. And it really, literally, because I'm working on friends, I don't need to research them ahead of time because I'm literally just sending out a love message. That's all it is. So I don't have to look at their profile. I don't have to look and see what's going on because they're either going to respond to me or not respond to me, and then we'll start a conversation. Right? Now, when I'm friend requesting people, it's completely different. I do look at their profile, their cover, their bio, their posts. I research everything because I want to know if I'm going to accept a friendship or send out a new friendship, that it's actually someone I want to be friends with. That's very important. But if I'm already friends with them, I can skip a lot of that step. And then I'm just waiting for them to respond. Now, a lot of people actually respond immediately. So I usually take about, it really is probably about 7 to 10 minutes to send a love note to 30 people. It's super fast, right? I get my 30 done immediately. Again, if they're new friends, you need to spread it out. So morning, afternoon, and evening. But then the responses start coming in, and that's where you spend the time. Because you're just looking for the people who are wanting to respond to you, not thinking anything about those that didn't respond. No negative thoughts, no bad thoughts. But I'm just looking for those who actually do respond so we can have some conversation. Again, no sales. However, different things will come up. So again, they might just ping pong back with, well, I hope you're having a beautiful day, or maybe something that's going on, or we talk about the family, or maybe they ask about my product services or a new event that's going on. Different things will happen. That is your opportunity to bring your business in if they open the door. But if they do not open the door at all, the door is not open yet. You still have to earn their love, trust, and respect for you. And this is so important. So many times people skip this step and they want to just jump into it. They think that there's something else going on, that they have the ability to jump. This is all like dating. Everything that we're doing is just like dating. And if you bring that ring on too fast, they're out the door, right? Right? So just keep that in mind. If you bring on a business question or statement too fast, they're out. You've got to find, I know, Heather, I'm with you and I understand. And that's why this program has helped me step back. And I've gone through it 4 times now. But it's helped me step back and just wait. All right, now here's how you stay organized. So there's a process that you can do. Oh, go ahead. A question?
No.
No? Okay. So here's what I like to do. Right now I'm working on 2 different things, but this one is super simple. Now, if you only have one business, it works fantastic. If you have lots of different things going on in your life or lots of different groups and you're highly involved in several different things, this process may not work quite as well. So focus on one area, right? Right now I'm just focused on a group that I'm in, and that's it. I'm not trying to do anything else, just that. I'm not skipping around. I'm not going here, here, or here. One specific group. Once I finish that, I will go to another specific group or my friends list or whatever it is. But did you guys see what I did? I hit the messages, and at the bottom it said see all messages. Over here, it has different things. And one is archived threads. All right. So when you do a message from someone, and I don't care if they have ping pong back and forth with me, I'm marking down every single person that I need to follow up. Because again, I don't know why they didn't respond. They may have forgotten, they may have gotten busy, they may want to respond to me, it just didn't happen. So I'm not going to make any judgments. And when I started this, I didn't make any judgments on who I was going to send my message to. And I will tell you, sometimes that can be a little difficult. And you might be in the situation of like, ooh, do I really want to have a conversation with them, or do I really, or maybe, something happened and you're not quite ready to send them a love note. Make your love note something that works and send them a love note. And I've done this to every single person, and it's always worked out great. So when you send that love note, whether they've responded or not, you can archive. And you just archive every single one. So you guys can see this was all from today, right? These were all my messages from today. Well, I archived some from yesterday, that's right. So when I want to go back and follow up in 1 to 2 weeks, I can just tap right on this. I know exactly who I need to follow up with. And all I'm going to do when I follow up is giving people love. Oh, that's not going to work. So, okay. I have to figure this one out. What I'm trying to do is get to their profile. And I'm trying to do this. Here we go. I'm just trying to get to their profile super fast and easy, and that's not working for me at this moment. But I just want to go to their profile, and I want to like and comment on a couple of their posts. I want them to know that I'm watching and that I care, and I'm not just sending them a message, but I'm actually involved, right? When we do messages, when we do our posts, we like and feel that we're giving value, correct? Right? Raise your hand if that's the case. Yeah, we want to give value. We want people to feel our value. So all of these people are the same thing. They want us to like their posts. and to make comments. They think that their posts are valuable. So let them know that, right? When you guys get comments back, and likes you got to be a little careful about because it's just a like, right? But a comment, when you guys get a comment back on a post, especially if it was something of value to you, how does it make you feel? Do you feel a little bit more connected to that person, right? Just because they responded, right? You all of a sudden you have that connection. Now, algorithm wise, because you responded to them, they're probably going to start seeing your posts a little bit quicker. So now they might have you pop up in their news feed. They're going to pop up in your news feed. And now you can start this little ping pong of commenting on each other's posts. And again, don't worry about if they don't. That's not the point of anything. You're just giving love back to see who responds. And that's it. So that's how I organize everything. I reach out, I say hello, every person that I say hello to. Then the next week, either 1 to 2 weeks later, I'll show you something else that I do. But 1 to 2 weeks later, and I don't know if she'll have it. All right, I'll show you a different way. There are fast ways of doing this, and sometimes when you're on the when you're like really in here, and Sherry, you're online, so I'm just going to do this with you, okay? So I have a list of people. You see, add to another list. You can make up your own list of everything. Oh, Sherry, I don't have you in there. I am titling this week 1, 2, and 3. And every person, this takes a little bit of work. So if you don't want to do this, it's okay. This is a little bit of work. And that's really pretty, by the way, her high school picture. There we go. I'm marking them as week 1, which is reaching out, doing a love note. And then week 2 is doing the comments, the likes. And then week 3 will be asking if they would like to join one of my one of my free Facebook groups, if I have something that they're interested in. And not everyone is going to have an interest, and you may not want to invite everyone, but you can ask for referrals. You can just ping pong your conversations again. You got to see where they lead you, right? It's all about them leading you. You can lead a little bit, but it's where they lead you. But that's how I organize. Now you see this see first. This is really fun. I love this. So when you look on your friends, most likely it will say following. Well, if you really want to pay attention to that person, so Sherry, by the way, I'm paying attention to you. If you really want to pay attention to that person and really give them a lot more love, then you can mark them as see first. Otherwise, it comes up as following. And that way, that way they'll come up into your news feed immediately. Is that pretty cool? You only get 30 people, guys. You have to be very selective who you do that with. All right, guys. So far, how are you guys doing? Anyone receiving some new information? Things that you can put to use? Okay, good. Excellent. I'm going to give you something else. Now, I've been reaching out to quite a few new people that I've never met, people that are intriguing me. You know, they say to surround yourself with the top 5 people, or you become the essence. Oh, great. Thank you, Diana. You become the essence of the top 5 people in your world, right? So recently I've been kind of deciding, well, I'm not even deciding, it's just organically happening. But I've been surrounding myself with some new people recently. And we're all in sales. Neither one of us on either situation has brought up sales yet at all. And we've been courting each other anywhere from 3 weeks to a couple months. But there is no doubt that I know exactly what these people do for a living. And there's no doubt that they know exactly what I do for a living. I just either haven't had a need for their services yet, or enough of a need to actually purchase, and hopefully they feel the same way about me. But there's a huge amount of like, trust, respect going on. And as soon as I have that need, I know exactly who I'm buying it from. I don't need to research them. I don't need to research their product. I don't even really care about the price. All I know about is I really, truly enjoy what they post, how they post, their live videos that they do, how they represent themselves, and that's something I want to be a part of. And that is all that matters to me. Now imagine from your end as the salesperson, if you have a large enough funnel and that's how your friends or people online felt about you, what would your business look like? Right? If you had all these people that you're reaching out to and just sending love notes to, and as soon as they have a need for your services, they're not going to question you. They're not going to try to research it. They're not going to care about the price because they know they like you and they like how you offer what you have. You got to think about that for a while. And when you really get that, the salesperson that everybody runs away from is out the door. All out the door. Because they like, trust, respect you. And this is what it all comes down to. So this may or may not be a super quick way, right? We may not be enrolling people next week, but I guarantee you'll end up doing less work. You'll spend less time. You'll feel so great. They will feel so great. And as soon as they have that need, you have that relationship is already built. And not having to justify your products, your price, your company, or anything like that, how does that make you feel? They just want it. You don't have to fight them or explain anything. You might have to explain it, of course, but you don't have to fight them on anything. They just want it. Super amazing. Now, also, one more tip before we get off tonight. I'm really glad that you guys were here. This was my first online Zoom call about this class, so thank you guys for allowing me to do this. But another way to really build a relationship is before and after an event. So many companies now do online parties, right? And if you've got an online party coming up, or if anything, you're going to something or you're hosting, whatever it is, but you've got an event, just like I invited you guys to this event, sending a message before the event. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jerry. But sending a message before the event just to say hello, make sure they know the time. Think about that, guys. I sent you guys a message before this event started, just thanking you for being on the call tonight. Did it help remind you, first of all? Hopefully it gave you a little bit more compassion that I really want to be on that call. And I feel like maybe she's going to have something to offer me because here she is reaching out to me personally, right? That's what it should be. But now the trick is doing it after the event as well. So every time you go to an event, thank them ahead of time for coming. Thank them afterwards for attending. So all of you will be receiving thank you from me as long as I have you guys in my group, because it's hard to tell everybody on chat. But I'll be sending everyone a thank you. So if you do a live video and you get people that pop up and they say hi, or maybe they make a comment, but you know that they were watching your live video, send them a thank you for watching your live video. I got one, and I'll show you this, and then we'll end. But I got this one from someone who I think we're both courting each other at this moment. I think it's very mutual. Didn't know her whatsoever. I was invited to a party, an online party that she was having. I liked her. I've started to watch her post. She's starting to watch mine. I jumped on her live video today. I jumped on a couple of them, and I comment. I always try to comment on live videos because I want to build that relationship with them. That's a lot of trust when you do that. So she just responded back. "Oh, thank you for hopping on my live this weekend. It was great to see your pretty face on there." I respond back, and she's like, "Well, thank you for that confidence boost," right? Even though she does live videos all the time, and she's an extremely pretty girl, and she's funny, and she gets a lot of people on her videos to watch it. She might, who knows if she really needed that confidence boost, but that was great for us to ping pong back that type of conversation. Very positive, warm, loving on both sides. And so those are some of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. We have so much to go through. Let me just kind of bring you back to my PowerPoint. There is a lot of great things you can do on Facebook. So these were just a couple of my questions. Is, do you have a better understanding of Facebook? Have you seen ways that can really build real relationships using Facebook? And do you believe that you can generate some business by using the techniques discussed today? I'd love to know your thoughts, private message or however, or in the Facebook group of what did you learn today that you can actually put into practice immediately? And I just want to know, you know, were you able to do that? Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. All right, so social media is here to stay, guys. This is how we interact. We just have to adapt to what our world has given us, and it's here. It is online, in front of the computer, reacting. What you might find, though, is that by doing this type of interacting with people, it's easier to get on the phone. It's easier to meet in person, and you might also find that you're actually having real conversations with people, and you're spending more time listening to them versus wanting to speak to them. So that is all I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Come back. There we go. I'm really glad you guys were able to join me and spend this time learning about love notes. So feel free to give us your comments in the Facebook group or here. I'm going to go through the chat and just make sure. I think we answered all of your questions, but if you guys have a question that wasn't answered, please go ahead and unmute. We'd love to hear from you, and make sure you guys feel very comfortable. And if you would like a homework assignment, my homework assignment is to contact at least 10 people tomorrow, if not tonight and tomorrow, and just send them a love note and then archive it so that you can go back, follow up, and like and comment on their posts. Just a couple different things just to let them know that you care and that you're there. Yes, can I show archive again? Absolutely. Well, I don't know. Now you're asking for my technical skills. All right, here we go. All right, so you go to messages. Sorry, I was reading that. Okay, no, Erin, you're good. You did private. And you go see all in Messenger. Well, you can, if you want to archive them, you can just see all in Messenger. I answered one of my questions. So I'm going to archive Jerry, and thank you, Jerry, for being on the call. So you go to this little wheel over here, and you just click archive. Now, when I want to go back, there's Jerry's message. So it's going to keep your most current ones up at the top. And so it's going to get mixed up. It's going to move around. I even archived my birthdays, right? She didn't have much to say. I don't care. But she's a friend of mine, and I definitely want to follow up with her at some point, as long as there's a ping pong. But so you'll have different things come up. It's not going to be absolutely in order as you put it. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of when they respond or when you respond. But you'll have all of your people that you have reached out to, so you know who to reach out to next. And then the key is, if you really, really are building a business, is that you, let me get off my PowerPoint. If you really just put yourself out there, apply this information, and be consistent with it. So whatever you can handle, if it's reaching out to 5 people a day, 10 people a day, 30 people a day, if you know them, you're going to have a lot more time invested in the replies and the ping pong. If you don't know them, it's not going to be a whole lot. Not all of them are going to respond, and they're usually pretty quick and fast. Your relationship will begin with the likes and the comments, and then the next follow-up. So you just kind of organize your time that way. But I guarantee you, if you apply this information from today, you will find that your time is so much better. And I can't get those chats. Where did our chats go? There we go. Exactly. Easy way to keep on track. Cool. All right. Any questions from anyone about anything? All right, great. If you guys need more information, please let me know. Again, I appreciate you guys being on the call. We'll continue to do more of those. All right, guys. You guys have a fantastic night, and I can't wait to hear about all of your love notes.
Thank you, Stephanie. This was
Thank you,
great.
guys.
Really loved it.
Oh,
This is
good.
Carol.
Yes, so wonderful. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate
All right.
that.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Good night, Stephanie. Thank you.
Good night, Erin. Bye, Kathy.
Good night, Steph. Thank you.
Oh, good night, guys. Oh, you're welcome, Sasha.
Good night, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're so welcome, Jerry. It's crazy how I know your guys' voices.
Good night, Stephanie.
Bye, Lisa.
Great job.
Oh, thank you. Are you still on?
Yeah, I'm going to head out, go for a walk. I've got another call at 8, so I'm going to time to exercise my legs.
All right, fantastic. And tomorrow, I'll do a decent amount of the same tomorrow, but we'll just kind of get a little bit more into depth with that. But it's a little bit of the same call just because it's their initial. And then weeks 2, 3, and 4, we really go into depth.
Well, I appreciate everything, and especially getting back to basics about don't make it personal if they don't respond. And,
No,
you know,
no.
the law of numbers.
Who knows why?
And it still gets a little, oh man, doing 20 or 30 a day, and just, but it's filling the pipeline.
Yep. Yeah. Well, if you do your friends, either one, you know, I don't look at it in a bad way if they're friends or if I'm adding new ones, because I have 2,500 people or so that I've got to rebuild a relationship with. And so just pick, you know, whichever one you want to do and focus on that. Don't go back and forth. Like right now, mine is my group, and I'm not going to finish up until it's done. Then I'll move on to the next one. And that I feel so organized. It's unbelievable.
Well, I've got 400, so it won't take me long, but I've been doing friends of friends saying, hi, I've noticed we're both friends of so-and-so. I've met him at, how did you guys meet? And that's what I've been doing. It's cookie
Right.
paste. But what I'll do now is I'll stop tomorrow and I'll go back to the, well, I don't think I'll reach out and say hi, love, but I'll do something similar to that.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, I should have stated that. You know, depending on a relationship, you may not say hello, love, but
A lot of them I've never even interacted with. We've just, I'm a friend, you're a friend. So,
yeah. Right. And when you come across as that's all you're doing is saying hello, some are going to have a wall up, and that's okay, but not all of them will. And then when you start reaching out to them, the wall goes down.
And as an aside, Steph, I reached out, and I know I grew up in Freeport, New York, and this lady and she grew up, and so-and-so, and grew up in Freeport, and she messaged me back, and I said, well, I grew up near such and such a part of town, and she said, are you Betty Jane's brother? And that goes back about 55 years. So I just texted her back earlier. Yes, so we'll see where that goes. So
Great.
yeah, yes. So that'll be interesting.
Great.
Very interesting.
Oh, very nice. I love that.
Thank you, and I'll chat with you tomorrow night.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good, Jerry.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. Have a good night.
You too.